What's up, Vinyl community? Welcome back. This is Hub Tunes. I'm Mike. I'm going to do 3 from 1 again. I just did one, but I'm going to do another one. 3 from 1. This is where I show 3 records from one artist. It can be my favorite records. It could be my least favorite records. It could be a smattering of everything. It could be just live records. It could be anything I make up. But this one is 3 records from one of my favorite artists. And it is his 3 most recent records, and that is Gary Numan. I've done a couple of Gary Numan videos. You can look in the playlist. Just go into playlist and it says Gary Numan. There's 3 of them. And they were good videos. They're very early on when I was making videos, probably when I had no idea what I was doing. Like I know what I'm doing now, but I really had no idea what I was doing in the beginning. But yeah, they're fun videos, I think, and informative. They're not an exact science of Gary Numan's history or anything like that. I'm not an expert on anything. So remember that every time you watch one of my videos. But this is Gary Numan's most recent records. Everyone knows his first 3, Telcon, Pleasure Principle, and Replicas. People know, his work with Two Boy Army and, how huge he was in the early 80s with Pleasure Principle and the single Cars. He was never as big in the US as he was in the UK, obviously. He's made over 24 records. I think it's up to like 27 records, I believe. A lot that most people have never even heard. A lot of them are not worth listening to. There's a period of his career it's pretty down. It's pretty down. But even after the first 3, there's another 3 that are really good. But he kind of branches out a little bit. He still has that techno electric Moog sound, but then he kind of adds background singers at one point. He adds some saxophone at one point, and it just doesn't work. But then something happens in the late 90s. He discovers industrial music, and maybe he could even be credited a little bit for the influence that a lot of industrial artists had. I know Trent Reznor thinks he blames Gary Numan for creating Nine Inch Nails. He was a huge influence on him. So if Trent can say that, I guess I can. But so at some point, there's a lead up to this. There's some industrial records that are absolutely hit or miss. But then he gets his groove with this album. This is called Splinter, Songs from a Broken Mind. And this is my favorite Gary Numan record of all of them that we'll talk about, and the ones I just mentioned. First of all, the topic of the album it's personal. It's I think anyone who's had to deal with mental illness in their lives, with family, friends, and yourself, whatever, could relate to this album. It's a difficult listen at sometimes. Lyrically, it can be pretty dark, but musically, it's dark too. But it's really, really good. I love his imaging on this record, the top hat, and it's really cool. This is a double record. I Am Dust opens it up. Here in the Black was the single. These records didn't sell in the United States. The 3 records I'm showing, nobody in the United States has them. Well, I mean, there's some, but they didn't get airplay or anything. Everything comes down to this. The Calling, Love, Hurt, Bleed was a single. There's a great video for that. If you ever want to see a cool-ass video, Love, Hurt, Bleed is really good. Same with Here in the Black. There's a great video for that, too. Where I Can Never Be, Where the Unforgiven, Who Are You? This is a really, really cool record, and it's definitely my favorite of all his records. Like I said, I love the imagery he's using. He does a different kind of image with every release that he does, and he's been doing that since the early 80s. This really a terrific record. I highly recommend streaming it. If you like Nine Inch Nails, you're gonna love this record. If you like Nine Inch Nails, you're gonna love all these records. The next record would come, and this is Savage. This went to #2 on the UK charts, his biggest selling album of all time, and I got to meet him, got a little autograph. I've met him twice. I did a meet and greet here in Chicago. When he plays in the United States, he's playing pretty small halls, maybe 2,000 people at the most. I saw him in Milwaukee in a place that was, I think it held 1,000, and I'm telling you, it was half full. But one of the best shows I've ever seen him do. So this is Savage, Songs from a Broken World. Pretty much the times we're living in, just depressing, but honest. He talks about religion a lot. He's not a religious person, but he has a lot of thoughts on it. I think he's more spiritual. There's a lot of religion in here. Ghost Nation opens it up, powerful. Bed of Thorns is my favorite song on the record. My Name is Ruin was the first single. Also, again, great video, really good video. It all began with you, End of Things. The song Mercy is excellent. If I Said, Pray for the Pain You Serve. Religious, dark, good song. And then the song Cold ends it. And it's an interesting song. I really like it. It's a good ending to the song. These 3 records are produced by Ade Fenton, who's worked with him now for probably going back about 15, 20 years. And he's a terrific producer. A lot of people think Gary needs to get away from him, but I don't see it happening because they really collaborate well. And I think Gary uses them as kind of a support system when creating. So I don't think Ade Fenton's going anywhere. But this is probably his masterpiece. It's his biggest selling album of all time. And I would check it out. I would really check it out if you, if you like Nine Inch Nails, you'll love 9 Inch Numan. Oh, that came out weird. This is his most recent record. This came out a couple of years ago. This is called Intruder. And again, he's got a whole new look, which I kind of dig this look. Really interesting. This is another autograph copy. I met him. This was, I think I met him. No, I met him here in Chicago at Thalia Hall. And this is on gold vinyl. These are all on colored vinyl. All 3 are on colored vinyl. Oh, no, the Splinter is on black. This is on gold. I actually have them on multiple. I have them on red. I have this one on red, black, and silver, and gold. And then I have, I'm weird. And a lot of them are not, they're sealed. I need help. So actually what I should do is sell some of these because like Splinter, that record goes for $200 easily. This one, not so much. This one didn't sell as much. This one kind of gets branded as more of the same. Whereas the last 2 records that I showed, they were a little more groundbreaking. They were a little more different. They had their own vibe. And then this one came along and it's kind of like, it's just kind of more of the same of those 2 albums combined. And I think that's kind of where a lot of people didn't like this record as much. I think it's got some good songs on it. It's got some stuff I'm not all that interested in either. If I'm going to listen to this, I'd probably listen to the first 2 before I listen to this. But this is Intruder. I dig it. It went very high on the charts in the UK. They were definitely waiting for this record after the last one. You can see his artwork. I love his imagery. I think that's one of the things about Gary Numan that's always really kind of got me going is the imagery that he uses. I think it's really cool, and it always conveys the music. You get a good feeling of the imagery and the music together. It's a lot of artists don't do that. Probably, who does it really well is St. Vincent. St. Vincent does that too. She has a different character for every album, if you've ever noticed that. And she does it really well. And every tour, she uses that character. It's really interesting. And more people should do that, I think. I think probably more people did it early, in the 70s and 80s. But he carries it on to this day. I mean, he's getting up there now. He's well into his 60s. And Hey, he's a cool artist, really cool artist. So check out Gary Numan's last 3 albums. Check out any of his albums. I don't care. That's it. 3 from 1. Questions, comments, snide remarks down below. Bye.